I'm gonna crack this thing open.
You know how like advent calendars for kids, those chocolates?
Yeah. Yep. We got one.
I'm like that with pumpkin pie.
No, it's my first Marvel movie. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you got to see a Marvel movie in theaters." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll go see Spider-Man."
Maybe they should have been in there because I have some opinions on why Georgia is in the playoffs. They should not be in the playoffs.
Oh my god!
Why should
Not
they?
you.
They just lost.
Welcome to the Beer and Sports Podcast. I am Josh Wingate, Josh Wingate 302, and Kimmel over here, Josh Kimmel US. How's it going, buddy?
I just woke up. What's going on? We're here to
did?
party. Yeah, I'm really tired. I had a long weekend. Too long. Too short.
Nice.
Too everything.
Too long, too short. What'd you
Not
do?
enough sleep. Just go out with the boys, green margaritas all around. What did I not do, Josh? What did I not do? Swimming, running, lifting, just nonstop.
There you go. I guess that's all you can do. I had family in town for a not so great reason, but we still had family in town, so we all hung out, drank, ate crabs. I got crab wounds, if anyone can see that.
No one can see that. No one.
It happened. It went down. Ready for everyone to leave.
Yes.
So,
get out. That's how I feel. Like, get out.
I hope they are all watching right now because I was ready for you all to leave.
Get out.
So much. But this is the Beer and Sports Podcast. Follow us at Bugs and Balls on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We are part of the Finns Talk Sports Network. Again, follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So, yeah. I'm drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon in honor of my wife's Nana. This was her favorite beer. So I am going to drink that.
Hey, I like that beer only in certain settings. I went out and with the boys. I'm drinking I'm drinking iced tea.
Okay.
Iced tea, not sweet tea.
Okay.
Not unsweet tea.
Okay.
This is what you just call tea. It doesn't have any flavors. I hate when I go to Publix and I have to go buy unsweet tea. There's no such thing as unsweet tea. It's just tea.
Tea. And then you have sweet tea.
So why are we so stupid? Because we're sugar addicts.
Yeah.
That we have to label this unsweet tea.
Look at this. We have Health Josh coming in. About 2.5 years ago, Josh would have been like,
"No,
I picked up some unsweetened tea."
No, I've always drank unsweet tea my entire life. I just grew up on it. I know I'm in the South. I know everyone drinks sweet tea I've never liked sweet. I've never liked sweet tea. Yeah, never was into it. It's the most disgusting. One of the most disgusting things I've ever had in my life.
Really? I'm a sweet person, so
sugar overload. Like I don't drink anything sweet. Nothing sweet.
Yeah.
I used to. Like I would drink.
So I love anything
Kool-Aid.
sweet. I really do. Kool-Aid. How did you make your Kool-Aid? Like that's a big thing. Did you go by the instructions or did you just pour the sugar in?
We just poured the sugar in.
Exactly.
It was the kids. The kids made it. We didn't care. Yeah. There's this one restaurant right down the street from down in Tampa, and they do really phenomenal like food. Really phenomenal. Like they're not franchise, but they have Kool-Aid. Legit Kool-Aid for sale.
That's so smart.
But there's no other drink. There's just Kool-Aid or water.
Oh, really?
But the Kool-Aid is fucking $5 a cup.
Oh,
it's one of those spots.
So they paid for all the Kool-Aid in just one cup of it.
You have to get the Kool-Aid if you go,
and it's not like free refills. It's literally every cup you get is $5.
I never really ate there. I just pick it up and go.
Okay,
and it's
that would be impressive if people actually went with that and just got cup after cup after cup.
I don't think it's possible to charge people $5 a cup. That's pretty insane. Maybe $5 because I never sat there and ate. But
that's price gouging right there for sure.
That's their choice. That's their drink. It's
because I'm over here. I'll take some water and I'm having my like little Kool-Aid squirter thing and mixing it up. If that's the case,
it's not. It's not even like. It's literally in those things you like. Let's say you go to a reception or a wedding reception or something. Those big glass things. They're just sitting on the counter. No ice, just red Kool-Aid.
It's probably then you get a cup You pay $5 for that cup, and then you fill it up throughout the
I don't
night.
know. Yeah, never stayed. But there's no
Yeah.
room to stay. There's no. It's just one of those spots where you pick up your food and go.
Yeah.
So there's my Kool-Aid story for everyone.
There you go. So today we are going to talk about there's been new news. I don't even know if you're aware of. I kind of threw it at you late as you were going into a slumber. I threw out to you the new location for the NFL draft. The new have you heard about the Super Bowl? They named a new location.
For
Is
what
this all
year?
news to you? You woke up and you're like, oh my goodness, all
Well,
this new
I
things
woke
happening.
up and I saw the Tom Brady news. I didn't see nor care about the 2025 NFL draft. I can care less. I could not care less of where it is. But go ahead and tell me where it's at, Josh.
So it's going to be the NFL draft. Not next year, but the year after that is going to be at Lambeau Field. I feel like that's really cool. History behind Lambeau and all that.
That's
It's going to be a cool location. And then the Super Bowl is in 2026 is going to be in San Francisco.
There you go. Another warm city gets the Super Bowl. What a shock.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Like, I'm not big on Super Bowl cities. I don't really care where they go. We get so many in Tampa. It's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say this. If you're in a Super Bowl city, it is freaking annoying those couple weeks. In the weeks leading up, it sucks,
crazy
man.
there.
Like, it's just not fun. You see celebrities around, you see this and that, but it's busy. Traffic is this. It's miserable living in paradise. Let me tell you, it truly, truly is. But I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you want to get into it already, but you know what? Did you hear about the Tom Brady news? Did I just break news to you?
Yeah. I didn't hear about the Tom Brady news. I want to hear about it.
Apparently, they announced that he's now officially a part owner or whatever. They're going to submit it to the. He's not officially it, but they're going to submit it to the NFL. Raiders, yeah.
Nice. I know there was talks about that last week. So how do you think? Let's talk about it this way. How do you think that makes the Miami fans feel?
What do you mean? Why would Miami fans care?
Because they thought he was going to become part owners of the Miami Dolphins.
Look, if they wanted Tom Brady, if you're a Dolphins fan and you seriously wanted Tom Brady in this organization, then you're a fraud. Because Tom Brady's been the enemy for 20 plus years. Why would you want a guy like that in your ownership? No, I get everything you're saying. I get, Josh. I understand, but I don't want that in my life. I don't want someone to be like, oh, Tom Brady literally owns you now. He owned you before when he was playing in New England. Now he literally owns you. I mean,
yeah, but he has
he has
a buying interest in you doing well. Wouldn't you want that? Like he's not going to buy the team and be like, let's tear them apart. Let's ruin this team completely, like I used to do in the early 2000s, late 2000s.
Who says this guy knows what he's doing? Who says he knows what he's
as an owner? I don't know. But it's not saying he's going to have a say in personnel or anything like that. But it is he has ownership in the team, and having Tom Brady in your ownership, it's like having Magic Johnson in basketball.
See, I don't.
He's going to bring the big names his way.
I was thinking about this, and maybe it's because I grew up watching him. I didn't miss one Tom Brady game. Obviously, I've been, we know people. We're so old now. We know people who didn't even know they weren't even born yet when he won his first Super Bowl. Right? We know those people. It's like, and it's kind of weird for me because I was there with Drew Bledsoe in the years before. He's just a player to me. I don't look at it's so weird because the same thing about LeBron. Same thing about Ovechkin. They're just players to me. Yes, they're great. They're one of the greats, but I don't look at them as a greatest of all time because to me, that takes history. Like, no, hold on. Michael's still the GOAT. Oh, hold on. Jim Brown, still the best. Now we're talking about this guy. It's like, gosh, is he better than Montana? Is he better than? Yes, he is. But to me, I saw his whole career, so it's hard for me to I don't know, put that in perspective. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. You were able to watch it your entire life growing up. You got the shock and awe of hearing about Montana, and you got the ability to hear about Joe Namath and all these great players, and you picture in your mind like they're much better than what they were. So now that you actually get to see someone's career, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, they're the greatest of all time," and you're looking at it in front of you, and you're like, it doesn't have that all factor. because I got to watch it piece by piece. I didn't get to see the full accomplishment right there. I feel like that's what you're saying.
Let me put it to you this way. I just found out this weekend that LeBron James is the #1 scorer in NBA history.
Yep.
I had zero idea, zero clue.
It happened this season.
I don't watch the NBA, so I don't know. Somebody mentioned it. I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no way. Like, I know he's great. I know he's one of the best players of all time, but there's no way. Because in my eyes, we don't break records like that because the records are so outlandish. When you told me Ovechkin was getting close, I don't pay attention. Like, there's no way. Gretzky was the fucking best of all time. There's no way.
Yeah.
And, oh, wait, there he is. So it's just weird that when you see a whole career, you're right. Because us looking back, you see the highlights and this and that. You don't see the flaws. I know Brady's flaws. We know LeBron's flaws. When you talk about these elite athletes like a Jim Brown, you don't hear about their flaws ever. Never do.
Just hear about the greatness.
Barry Sanders, he had major flaws, man. He had major flaws in the backfield. He liked to dance around, but nobody brings that up. They just talk about how
you
fast
just see how he danced around and
but you
he was able to break. Yeah.
All those plays where he was stuffed behind the line of scrimmage because of either poor offensive lineman or poor vision, him trying to do too much. So it's just a different perspective, and nobody thinks about that.
But then there's a point, and we got to witness that with Tom Brady. We're hopefully seeing that because I still feel like LeBron is the biggest enigma in sports right now. Like, you either love or hate him, and there came a point in Tom Brady's career everyone hated him unless they were Brady fans. And then it came to a point, look, I have to appreciate what he is doing right now. I've been that way with LeBron for a while now, but I feel like a lot of people still haven't gotten there. In these instances where you're seeing greatness happen, you might not be able to say, okay, they're the greatest of all time, but you still have to sit back and be like, okay, I'm going to honor and witness what they're doing right now and just appreciate it.
Let's break that down a little bit because this is a topic I feel like we could. There's a lot of fat left to chew. I don't understand if people hate greatness. Seriously, I don't know if people hate greatness or if they don't want their greats that they grew up watching to get overpassed by this new coming person. Now, let me give you an example. In wrestling, WWE, I was not a John Cena fan at all. John Cena was one of my least favorite. I would go to shows and scream at him, like, I would heckle him. F you, Cena. If Cena wins, we'd riot. Like, seriously. And it's because of how great he was, and because he was always on top, because he was pushed. And then when he left, there left a void, and there was a void gone for a long time. And then once he made his comeback and he came back, you kind of appreciate everything he did. And I'm at that point now with Cena where I think he's the greatest wrestler of all time, one of them. And I miss him. And I wish I'd cherished the moments I had when he was in his prime. And I wish more people would do that with the athletes we have now. And it sucks.
No, I agree.
People just hate because they just don't understand greatness.
And so you have two different aspects of that. So, and we saw that within our football and our quarterbacks of the same era. Peyton Manning could do no wrong. Peyton Manning, from the get-go, because of who he was just honored and appreciated, and he's the greatest of all time. And then you have this lonely Tom Brady come in and just win championship after championship after championship, and people just absolutely hated him. And then the little brother comes in, and people absolutely hate Eli Manning, but he goes and wins 2 championships. And then Tom Brady or Peyton Manning is just, he's a rookie quarterback, and they're already chiseling him into the Mount Rushmore of football. So you kind of get that. How would you feel if you were to rank Tom Brady, Peyton Manning? Where would you put the two?
It's very difficult, man. I used to be in the camp of Tom Brady's a system quarterback. He most of his Super Bowls were not due to him; they were due to his players around him. But it was his intelligence that led him to multiple Super Bowls. It wasn't, I'm going to sound stupid and say it wasn't talent. It was obviously talent, but he'll tell you himself. I mean, I read his book. I read the TB12. I read everything cover to cover. He'll tell you though, he wasn't the greatest athlete. He was not. He was never the greatest athlete on his team. And he had to work super hard to get to where he was. but he was kind of in a system that led him to win
Yeah.
easily. Easily. All he had to do, I remember his first Super Bowl against the Rams, the very last drive, people praised Brady. All he did was check it down to Keith Falk. It was like Falk, Falk, Falk. And it's like, okay. And then you look at the comeback against the Atlanta Falcons, dump down to James White, James White, James White. It wasn't Brady. Edelman making an amazing catch from a bad throw. Brady's been very fortunate, very
Yes.
fortunate. Whereas Peyton Manning had to make plays happen. He had to get it done. I would think Peyton Manning is the third best quarterback of all time in my eyes,
Okay.
and I have him above Brady.
Whew. Yeah, that's hard. So, would Joe Montana be your number one?
No,
Ooh. I know it's not Aaron Rodgers. I
I
know
can't.
you are not about to say Aaron Rodgers.
The best quarterback of all time.
Oh,
The
I
best,
know
the
you are
best,
not about
the
to say Aaron
best,
Rodgers.
the best quarterback of all time that I saw play football was Aaron Rodgers. And
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not even joking. And I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to be hilarious. Nobody when I look back at people's careers, the way we look at it as we just spoke, as we look at the highlights, we look at the amazing plays. Every highlight you'll see of Tom Brady is an amazing play someone else made because he made a bad pass. Or he never had to scramble around. He never had to make a play. He never had to break a tackle. He never had to be like Eli in the pocket.
Well, you
He
can't
ne-
take that away from him.
but
He still had that pocket awareness. He still had to get the ball out in time. He had to play in a
where
rhythm
he
for
never
him
had
to
to
be
get, he
good.
never gave me the LOA helicopter. He never gave me the Eli Manning scramble out of the pocket. He never gave me the Aaron Rodgers scramble out of the pocket, run off your back foot, throw a freaking dime, 80 yards on the field to Jared Cook. He's never done anything to go, wow, look at the play he just made. Patrick Mahomes makes more of those plays in one season than Tom Brady has his entire career. Because he was never forced in that situation to do it. And if every time he was pressured or anytime that it was some adversity, he would fold. He would 1000% fold.
See, I see what you're saying, but you're making him less because he doesn't have this talent of running the
Dave,
football or running around.
Dave missed
Um,
the conversation. 28-3 is nothing. You're right. It was nothing. All he was doing was dumping it down to James White. He
but
wasn't
the
doing anything
most
special.
annoying thing, in my opinion, from a quarterback is someone that stays in the pocket and just literally picks apart your defense. Throwing it to his guys are making plays, and that's what Tom Brady did. He was accurate. He had really good timing, and he had the intangibles of a quarterback to get them to a championship. I really do feel like he got them through to those Super Bowls. I feel like he was a big part of that. And to say he wasn't is absolutely crazy.
Of course, he was a big part of it, but he wasn't when Aaron Rodgers.
No one is the deciding factor. If you say Aaron Rodgers was the deciding factor to a Super Bowl,
Mahomes is the X factor to that Kansas City team. He is the guy. He will go down as the most talented quarterback of all time and the best. He will eventually.
yeah, I agree. Mahomes will. He's just absolutely unreal.
Luckiest guy ever. Look, he was the look. I'm not saying he was the luckiest guy ever. I'm just saying he never show me the highlight reel because there won't be any.
But you don't have to be the most athletic. You don't have to be the strongest arm. You don't have to be the most accurate to be the greatest of all time.
Every player has a play attached to them. Tom Brady does not. I can't think of one. Neither can you.
I mean, I can think of a season where he threw the most touchdowns to a single receiver, and you could say, "Oh my God, he had Randy Moss," but
yeah,
no one else did that with Randy Moss. No one else had been able to accomplish that with Randy Moss.
That's 1000% true. I was actually watching highlights the other day. They had for some reason my gym put on every Tom Brady touchdown in a loop, and I swear I couldn't believe it. My gym had a loop of just Tom Brady touchdowns, and they did it by season, so they did the Moss season. God, Moss was special that year. Moss was so special that year. I was looking at all those touchdown catches. Dave,
Moss
I know
is great.
I can't believe I would ever think Terrell Owens is a better receiver than him. Moss is so unbelievable. But that's why Tom Brady had those touchdown passes. I'm just saying that, hey.
It's a combination of the two.
Like I said,
promise you that.
there's no Elway helicopter. There's no Aaron Rodgers plays. There's no Michael Vicks. There's no nothing. He's great, but nothing stands out. And that's who he was. That's his entire career.
See, I would have to disagree with that. I like what I said. You don't have to be the greatest at every individual standpoint to be the greatest of all time. You just have to put everything together and make everything work to then become the greatest of all time.
So going back to the Peyton Manning argument, or not argument, but comparison, can you say the same thing about Peyton Manning? I remember multiple plays on Peyton Manning's side, and he was, if you want to say, a better offensive leader.
I couldn't tell you a single Peyton Manning play that off the top of my head that stood him out. Not one.
Not one?
No, not one Peyton Manning throw that was just like, oh my God, you did that, and it was unreal.
There's more. There's so many I can't even count.
Really?
I'm gonna send you the highlight reel after we get off.
Well, tell me one. Tell me one off the top of your head.
I'll tell you one.
Okay.
The time he threw it to Reggie Wayne down the field, and Reggie Wayne caught it and scored a touchdown.
Well, that was Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne did that.
I don't know. I
just
can't
like Randy Moss did all those touchdowns.
I can't think of one right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I could think of almost everyone else. But you're right, Peyton Manning. But to me, I'm gonna always think of like Omaha, him changing shit up, him doing all that stuff.
That was his ability. He was a mentalist of the game. He changed the game before the snap, pre-snap. He was changing the game, and then because he didn't have the strongest arm. He wasn't the most accurate quarterback. He couldn't run around. I mean, the one play that stands out to me was Peyton Manning took the ball on the goal line against the Cowboys and ran it in for a touchdown because no one expected him to do that.
Yeah, I remember that play. Yeah.
So
it was awesome.
That is what sticks out to my mind is he is someone that just pre-snap is just changing the game there.
And I also don't like how he's a traitor, how he only supports the Broncos. He doesn't only
support the Broncos.
Dude, come on. If you see him in public, he's always wearing Broncos colors or he's always supporting the Broncos. He's never associated with the Colts. Never. It's so annoying. It really is truly annoying. How could you play for a team that long and just not acknowledge them? And you're just a Bronco for life. Yeah. Ridiculous. What a fraud.
So we said that about Peyton Manning. I know we had a whole other agenda for the show, but I feel like this is a really good topic that we brought up out of nowhere. My acknowledgement for Peyton Manning would be, or not Peyton Manning, Tom Brady would be, he knew his timing. He knew where his receivers were going to be, and he was just able to facilitate the ball to his weapons. And he did that at an elite ability.
I mean, when you have the gameplay taped from practice, it's pretty easy to do
that.
I'm just saying.
So now you are just spitting out this haterade.
I didn't want. No,
you
I didn't want
still have to have that timing down. Like you can have all the game
up.
You have to have all that game tape ahead of time. Great. You still have to have the timing and be able to read the defense to where the defender is. And he did that really, really well at the greatest of all time level.
He just wanted to win more than anyone else.
Anyone could do that. Tim Tebow wanted to win more than anyone else.
But he didn't. No, he didn't. You know why? Do you know why Tim Tebow didn't want to win?
Why?
Because he wouldn't accept his role as a role player. He thought he was a superstar. He thought he was bigger than the team. He thought he was bigger than the NFL.
As a quarterback, he felt like he was a quarterback. If he felt like,
but if he truly wanted the team to win, he would have accepted his role, which his role was as a backup or go play another position, go be Taysom Hill, help out the team. But he was a selfish prick, and he decided that he was bigger than the world. He was bigger than the NFL, he was bigger than the Broncos, bigger than anyone. Tim Tebow is a selfish player. Bottom line, period.
I'm not saying he's not, but he is I'm going to win more than anyone. And he felt like he was a quarterback. Because if you come out of that college career, are you going to say you're not a quarterback?
If
maybe one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, by far. Dave, it's funny that he brought up the Bucs went from trash to Super Bowl. And yeah, they did not 1 year. It took 2 years to get to the Super Bowl. But it's funny. I was talking to my buddy. He has the season tickets for the Bucs, and I'm like, hey, you still got them season tickets? He's like, yeah, because they locked us into that 2-year contract, and he wants out so bad. They won't let him out. And it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of Bucs fans trying to get out of that contract. It's gonna be a bad year in Tampa.
And I thought that was true too. They won.
I thought it was their second year.
First year.
Oh, really? First? For reals?
And then they didn't go back that second year.
For reals?
Yep.
They shouldn't have won. Chiefs should have won.
Fuck,
For real, I didn't
Tom
know
Brady
that. Okay.
sucks.
He doesn't suck. He's just
Worst
not,
quarterback ever.
He's
I
not the
can't
worst.
believe he's even has
Chuck
what?
E. Cheese.
How many rings does he have?
I don't care. I don't care.
Is
It's
it
a team.
6 or 7?
It's a team accomplishment. I don't
He has
care.
7, right?
Robert Ory has 7. Who cares?
So now it's a team accomplishment.
I'm just saying.
Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl by himself, but Tom Brady is a team accomplishment.
I didn't say by himself. Look, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest of all time. Look, I don't want to get into it, but I would not be surprised if the Jets win the Super Bowl this year because of Aaron Rodgers. But I don't want to say that on this network, and I don't want to believe it because I hate the Jets. I hate the Jets so much.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised because of Aaron Rodgers.
No, I think Aaron Rodgers is really good, but you cannot compare. And I agree, it's a team accomplishment. But Aaron Rodgers has had some really, really good teams, and he wasn't able to put them over the top to make it to another Super Bowl, to win another Super Bowl. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Look, I don't know.
You're just I'm over this right now.
I'm kind of over the debate because Dave's really hurting my feelings with Aaron. Dave, stop hating on Aaron Rodgers. He's gone. He's out of your life. He's in my division now. He's in my division. I have to deal with him. And when we play him, I'll just, I'll love him. I'll love him the same. I'm not going to hate on Aaron Rodgers ever. You'll never hear me hate on Aaron Rodgers. He's my goat.
So you came to me and you were like, okay, we have this Heat championship going on right now.
Oh yeah.
And
the Florida
they're kind of underdog.
I said Florida Panthers and the Heat.
Yeah, and I was about to say the Heat, Florida Panthers too.
All right.
So yeah, and the Florida Panthers are going in, and we are a part of a Miami network. So we want to play into that a little bit. Underdogs going on. Are they in the championship right now?
Who?
Florida Panthers?
No.
That's not until like July, right?
No, they're about to be there. They're in the conference. They just won in overtime. I believe they're up 2-0. And I think they play tonight, actually. I think they're playing right now. But I'm watching the Rays.
The Heat are unreal right now, just dominating.
I don't know about the NBA. I have zero idea what's happening in the NBA.
Well, you came to me about the Miami Heat, so you have some kind of an idea.
Well, I know that I saw somewhere that they're both 8 seeds, the Florida Panthers and the Heat, and they're both underdog stories. So this brought me like, what's your favorite underdog sports team or year or? They don't have to win the ship. They don't have to win the championship. They're just like a good story that like
it's going to be so lame in my opinion for me because it's going to be the Phillies last year.
Well, there's so many. Because let me bring up the iconic ones. The 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team.
Yeah.
What?
That was just a basic one. Everyone talks about it.
Well, that's a
Russia.
Classic underdog. It's a classic underdog. It's not even the championship game. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah. There was the Giants on the road Warriors in the playoffs to beat the Patriots, right?
Yep.
That was the year they were the 6th seed, I believe. The Cardinals, they made a good run. But my favorite is in baseball, actually, and it's close to home. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's the 2008 Tampa Bay Devil Rays, or Rays, their first season as the Rays.
Against the Phillies?
Yeah, they were against the Phillies. Now, this team was not supposed to be good. They just got rid of the Devil Rays. This was their first season, no devil. The whole gimmick that whole offseason was the Rays got exercised. We exercised our demons. We're Joe Madden's in town. We don't know who this guy is. Let's just go all the way. Who's Diggs BTW? What's up, Diggs? Diggs is not my goat. Dave knows that. I wonder if that is Stephon Diggs. Or is it Trayvon Diggs? I don't know. There's 2 Diggs now.
Trayvon Diggs. That right there is Trayvon Diggs. How's it going, Diggs? Trayvon
Diggs, by the way, I just want to say he shut down Justin Jefferson. And I only know that because I got into an argument with Davey. Davey's my boy, but he thinks Jamar Chase is a better football player than Justin Jefferson. And I had to show him the stats and the facts of reality that Justin Jefferson's the greatest of all time. But then he showed me that even Trayvon Diggs shut him down.
What do you mean even Trayvon Diggs shut him down?
Well, Trayvon Diggs isn't really that good. He
is good. He was basically shut down last year.
He's good, yes, but he gave up a lot of yardage the year before.
Because
last year he buttoned it up.
He didn't have as many picks last year, so he's basically more shut down. The year before he was going more after the ball and gave up a lot more plays. Last year he was shut down. Now we could see a mixture of the both with Stephon Gilmore next to him. So,
yep.
So I want to correct you on that.
This 2008 team, this Rays team, they didn't win the World Series. They lost to the Phillies, your team. was one of the most depressing World Series of all time. I think I watched one game. I legit, because there were so many rain delays over here in the East Coast. I'm not staying up till midnight watching baseball. But that was a good team, man. So your Phillies last year, were they that underdogs? What?
Yeah,
Really?
they were underdogs.
The Phillies, how can you be an underdog with a $200 million payroll? Like, how? That's
Because
not
they
real
came
life,
into
Josh.
the playoffs. Let's look. I think they were.
I'm talking about, we're talking like Ted Lasso. They have no chance. This team was projected to be dead last. You can't tell me your team with a $200 million payroll was an underdog ever. The Rays payroll is like $50 million.
It goes off of. And I get that. Yeah, 100%. They should have been well, but coming into the season, they weren't playing as hot. And then right at the end of the season, they just took off. And
So that just means that
they
they're just
weren't
a good
expected to
team.
go to the playoff or to the Super Bowl. They barely made the playoffs, and then they go to the World Series, and then they had just a lights out playoff experience, and then going into the World Series, it was a great experience for a team that you didn't expect to do much.
That's like saying that if the Patriots barely get in when they were good, that was an underdog story. No, they were supposed to be
No,
there. They just sucked.
but you can't say because you built this large roster and you spent a lot of money on this roster, and then they play down the entire season, and then just get hot at the end to barely make the playoffs, and then they go on to make the World Series. You can't say, "Oh, well, they had a $200 million. What did you expect?" Well, the entire season they didn't do much, and they were an underdog going into the playoffs. No one expected them to even win the first series, and then they go in and they go to the World Series. And
so, by your standard of an underdog, are the Tampa Bay Rays an underdog this season, or are they just that good because they started out hot and they're so good? But no, they're an underdog because they're nobodies.
No,
They're a bunch of nobodies.
if you come in and you're having the season that you are having right now, and you are proving that you are a contender throughout the entire season, then no, you are not an underdog.
What are you
There's
talking?
no way
They came
you're an
into the
underdog.
season. They came into the season with low expectations of making
Yeah,
the playoffs.
you come into the season with low expectations, and then you come into the season and you are just dominating each team that you play. You go on to win 13 straight games to start the season. That is not an underdog style of playing.
But that's an underdog kind of story where this team had zero chance, and then all of a sudden they came out hot and they just took the season by storm. It happens all the time.
I feel like an underdog story has to be
so
you're either up and down throughout the season, and
so your underdog story is your team has to be one of the most loaded rosters of all team that are underachieving, and then you finally play up to your potential, and then you win.
No, it's not necessarily that, but if your team was up and down, but if you come in beginning of the season and just start dominating, you're one of the best baseball teams in the league to start the season. Like, that is not an underdog story.
Chiefs, underdogs.
No.
Why? They're up and down. Underdogs.
They were up and down. Or did they come into the season, oh my God, their receivers aren't that great, so they're not going to be great. Their defense is questionable. But they came in and they still played Chiefs football.
Trying to think of your theory of an underdog because it's not the same. It's like the Yankees. Oh yeah, they have $1 bajillion, but they're not playing well right now. They're not playing right now. So when the Yankees do come back
throughout the entire year, they were down, not playing well the entire time, and then out of nowhere they went hot to make the playoffs, and then they continue that on to the playoffs. I feel like that is an underdog. If you are an 8 seed, why are the Heat an underdog right now? Why are you considering the Heat an underdog?
I don't know.
They have one of the best basketball players in the league right now with Jimmy Butler. What makes them an underdog?
I don't know.
In a league where one player can win you a championship, why is the Heat an underdog?
I don't know. I don't know why they are because I don't watch the. I don't know who the fuck Jimmy Butler is. I don't know what a Jimmy Butler is, dude. I'm sorry.
You do know what a Jimmy Butler is.
No, I do not. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know who he is. Sorry.
Who barely went into the hockey playoff?
Florida Panthers.
And then, so would Tampa Bay Lightning have been an underdog story this year?
No, because they are Goliath, and they should have actually been in here right now, and they would be dominating Carolina, and they would be in the Stanley Cup Finals. Because once they got past Toronto, which they outplayed Toronto 5 out of those 6 games.
I think you can have multiple different angles coming at an underdog, but I feel like if you come out hot and you throughout the entire season you stay hot, like the Seattle Mariners, the year that they got Ichiro and no one like you could always come into the Seattle Mariners as being an underdog story, but then they go on and win 20 games or something like that, 110 games. Like that's not going into the playoffs. That is not an underdog story.
Do you think? So, for example, college football, USC, are they underdogs every year because they're never going to compete with the big boys in the SEC and Big Ten?
No,
Like
because that's a Power 5 conference. I feel like,
but they're never going to.
And you're like the top dog. Like you're the top team of a Power 5 conference.
So if you're a top team of a shitty conference, you're still good.
I feel like an underdog story could be I feel like USC last year, yeah, they could have been considered an underdog.
That's why I brought them up.
Yeah,
that's why I brought
last year. But if you're going to say just point blank USC in general, I feel like it's harder for them to be an underdog. I feel like last year was harder for the Phillies to be an underdog because of their contract going into their season, their salary. But the way they played the season, it was okay. They're not the team. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs. Nothing's going to happen.
Up underdog with underachieving.
Yeah, they were no, but they were underachieving. You can use both words. They were underachieving throughout the season. There was higher expectations for them, but then they get into the playoffs, and no one expected them to even win a game in their first series, let alone go on and beat the Braves, who was the top dog in their division, and then go on to the World Series and compete in that. I feel like that is an underdog story.
I feel like
an underdog is someone you don't expect much from. Going into the playoffs, you expected less from the Phillies.
Let's see, 2022.
But I'll give you my ultimate underdog story. And it wasn't a championship team. And you might not know much about it, but Loyola, a few years back with Sister Jean, I felt like that was the ultimate underdog story.
Yeah, I know exactly what NCAA. I watched the whole thing. I'm big on the call. I'm hoops. I'm a hoops guy. I'm a hoops guy. I'm just looking up the 2020.
I'm not a basketball guy. I'm a hoops guy.
Yeah, that's true. The NBA is unwatchable. It's by far the most unwatchable thing on television. I'd rather watch soccer, and that's saying a lot. All right, hold on. I'm going to the predictions. Oh, they predicted the Braves to win the division last year, which you said that they're awesome. And then the wild cards, they're predicted to get. Oh, they weren't even predicted to make the playoffs. Okay, underdogs, Phillies.
The Phillies had a big salary, but going in, they weren't expected to do much. I think the Mets were supposed to be above them. So they're supposed to be third in their division.
Yep. Okay, you're right. Underdogs.
So
underdog Phillies, man, with that $200 bajillion payroll. Underdogs.
You can have the biggest payroll in the world and still not have a great team. Who would have thought that the Phillies, the Eagles, the year that they had Vince Young, and they were, I forget what they called them.
Nobody thought they were the dream team except for them. Nobody, not one person outside of Philadelphia thought
they were talking. The entire sports world was talking.
The rest of the 49 other states were laughing because nobody thought that was a dream team. Not one person. Trust me, I promise you. You're in that bubble. Not one person was buying that shit. That was ridiculous. Vince Young, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, Vince Young. What an idiot. But underdog, I like underdog games because they last those last in we know the Appalachian states, we know you know the upsets whenever Maria Sharapova won her first major, nobody thought that was gonna happen. I know for a fact college is huge on that.
Yeah, I
know you're a college guy, so what's the best college besides Appalachian State? What's the best was it Oregon? Was it when Oregon did that trick play, or was it even Oregon that did that against Oklahoma?
Are you talking about Auburn?
BYU? Who the fuck was that? Who did the trick play in the BCS title or BCS playoffs or fucking bowl game?
Are you thinking
Boise
about
State?
Auburn?
Boise State.
Okay.
Boise State against Oklahoma. You don't remember that? But that was the best college.
Kellen Moore.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not impressed.
No, I mean,
it was on the biggest stage. Everyone was watching.
But Boise State was top dog back then.
They were?
Yeah, Boise State was legit back then.
Oh, I thought they were underdogs.
I think they went undefeated that year, or potentially undefeated. They might have lost one game.
And they didn't.
It's hard to have underdogs in the current playoff position of the college playoffs.
Boring. College football sucks.
But they're expanding it, so now you're going to be able to get those underdogs. You're going to be able to potentially get an 8 seed that goes in and beats the first seed. It's not as likely, but you're going to have those possibilities now, and you're going to get those underdog stories going through the playoff.
I'm in underdogs. Actually, you know
Oh,
what?
I love underdogs.
I do love
them.
greatness though. I love when a team smashes, beats the hell out of. That's cool to watch too, especially when the Lightning were doing it. It was fun. Well, it lasted. Now the Rays are doing it. The Rays are smashing.
Yeah. So you honestly feel like the Rays can be the underdog story of this season, but they can't be the underdog story of the playoffs.
Yeah, they are, because once they get in the playoffs, they're not going to be favored, no matter what their record is. They're not, because they don't have the players. They don't have the players.
No way. No way. If they go in this season to win 105 games, 110 games, they're going to be favored.
Do you think they're still going to get the respect? Because no one's. I mean,
you are as good as you play. And I have
an
upset daughter right now coming in here.
Well,
I think she bit her tongue.
Go ahead and sign us off then. You want me to sign us off? I guess.
No, we're good. We just have a crying child right now that just hit my headphones, and she's upset.
She's an underdog.
She is an underdog. And she's wearing bluey pajamas.
Oh, that's nice.
What are you gonna say? Who do you think the underdogs are? Huh?
Muffin.
Who's your favorite baseball team? You gotta say it louder. Who's your favorite baseball or football team? What? All right, give me a kiss. Love you. Oh, she's wrapped up in the court. She's going down. Oh no. Okay, we're back. We're back live, better than ever. So, yeah, I feel like you can be the underdog of the season, just not the playoffs at that point.
Well, we'll find out, because they're going to make the playoffs, and I feel like they'll be heavily disrespected by the national media and the books.
If that happens, it's just they're looking for a storyline.
It happens year after year after year in Tampa, so we're used to it.
Yeah, you're just fishing for a storyline at that point.
Yo, Toronto just hit a bomb. Sorry. But all right, sign us off, Josh, because I'm going to watch the rest of this baseball game. I told you I was into baseball, and we're going to get into more baseball talk, because I am reaching out to a person to get on the show to talk about baseball, Josh.
Nice. Let's do that. So anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Again, we are part of the Finstock Sports Network. Again, that is Josh Kimmel US. I'm Josh Wingate 302. We are the Beer and Sports Podcast at Mugs and Balls on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. What do you have to leave us?
Hustle.
What? This is what you're leaving us on?
Hustle, loyalty, respect, word life, thugonomics. John Cena.